most interesting thing about Dover Castle is that in what is comparatively a small area, although it seems massive, doesn't it, 83 acres, but it's a comparatively small geographical area. You've got so many different periods of history. So, I mean, we start off with, a prehistoric Iron Age hill fort, and on top of that there's a Roman lighthouse, and there's a 10th century Saxon church, and then you've got Henry II's fantastic Great Tower, which dates from the 12th century. Lots and lots of medieval stuff, huge amount of Napoleonic work, and then also all the Second World War history. The wartime tunnels, one of which was the one where Dunkirk was planned in 1940. We even have, in the third level of the tunnels, down beneath those wartime tunnels, a level of tunnels that was used as a precautionary nuclear shelter during the Cold War, so a regional seat of government. So in this sort of comparatively small area, you really cover 2,000 years of history. And that's one of the reasons why it's such an interesting site for so many different people, because it appeals to all sorts of different interests and different types of people. So we're actually standing here in Henry II's Great Tower. We called it his Great Tower. It was built between about 1180 and 1188. It's one of the first of the Plantagenet castles, probably the most extant you'll ever see. There are very few Norman castles that are as complete as Dover Castle. Henry II fits in because he's the great-grandson of William the Conqueror, who of course came over to Dover here shortly after the Battle of Hastings in 1066. And he built a small wooden palisade here at another part of the site, but it was his great-grandson, Henry II, who commissioned this castle. He's also the king who was responsible for the murder of Thomas Becket at Canterbury Cathedral. And one of the reasons he built this castle was that it was very soon that pilgrims were coming across from Europe to pay homage to the saint, Thomas Becket, because he'd become martyred and become a saint. Henry II also fits in chronologically as the father of Richard the Lionheart and Bad King John, who we know about from Robin Hood, I suppose. Then you had a long period when the castle was used occasionally, usually by royal visitors, and then there was a period when there was a bit of neglect and semi-dereliction, I suppose, until the beginning of the 18th century, when this building was used as a prison for prisoners during the Wars of Spanish Succession. And then later in the 18th century, the whole of the castle was repurposed because, of course, by then we were at war with Napoleon. And loads of soldiers were brought down here to the southeast, and they were accommodated in the castle and all the way around the castle. So you had that period as well when it suddenly was becoming a really important military hub again, and then continued to be used on and off all the way through the centuries. Principally, of course, in the Second World War, when there was a big military input here, and used from time to time all the way through. The last regiment actually left Dover Castle. It was always military, and the last regiment left in the late 1950s. So I guess that's one of the reasons why the buildings are just so extant. They were used again and again, repurposed. Everywhere you go, you can see the layers of the onion. So Dover Castle, I suppose, is one of the most sophisticated, one of the bigger sites that we operate through our organisation, English Heritage. And it really is very well worth a visit. Give yourself plenty of time. You're going to need really the best part of a day to really enjoy it, to take in all the different elements of the castle, see the views, and just enjoy yourself. Come and see us.